Welcome back to Random Reacts. We're going to be watching first ever gameplay hands-on for Esports boxing by Boxing Fanatico. You can find a link in the description. I'm not going to watch the whole video. You can find the rest on his channel, but I'm going to take a look at it because I've been dying for a new boxing game, bro. And ain't none out there, so hopefully this one looked good. It looked nice from the graphics I seen like way earlier, like months ago, but let's see. Let's check it out.
Essentially be under our feet with no collision with the corner men, but visually it was strange. But it was also in pre-alpha. Other things like KOs or knockdowns would start off great, but then end very janky as the fighter would start to spaz on the floor or the body would deform in an
That's the best part about boxing games, that knockout, like the knockout I guess momentum or whatever you call it, because once you know, like, it just feel realer. I think that's a very important part of boxing games, for real. That's why I like them. But I don't care who dropped one, just somebody dropped one, bro. Like, this is crazy.
realistic way,
It's a drought.
or even fly out of the ring through the ropes in an
Well, at least for PS4.
unrealistic way. Although the initial clinch felt and looked good, as it is much easier, looks like their real life counterpart.
Oh,
to
yeah, that
an
looks great.
extreme degree. So kudos to Steel City Interactive.
The punches look real. That was like a real boxer
Once we
practice.
were in the game, I immediately started testing out all the mechanics.
Hopefully it play like
I'll tell you
Fight
which
Night.
ones look good and which ones didn't look good to me. Punches looked good, but still lacked that desired pop. There were
Yeah,
also
they
moments
do.
where it was hard to
I agree with him on that. Like, the punches, they do look good, but like the pop effect, like the stiffness, I don't know, it's just something about it. But it's damn near perfect. They just got to tweak it a little bit. But I'm liking what I see, and the characters look a little weird, a little too skinny. Like, I don't know if that's really their build, but it just seemed a little off to me for some reason. Like around the facial area and the leg area, it just seemed kind of weird.
tell who exactly landed the counter shot. There was a white flash that indicated a counter, and honestly, it felt needed to fully understand
Yeah.
if someone was caught with a counter.
That's very
Thinking
light.
about
That's a very light way of letting somebody know, like Fight Night, the whole screen shake, and they should zoom in on a punch when you hit somebody, like, to let you know. Even when you miss a punch on Fight Night round 3, like, or Champion, I think it's called, the other one after that. Even when you miss a punch on there, like, you can feel like, okay, I fucked up, like, I missed this joint, like, I can't get hit after this. Like, and when you would get hit, you would feel that sting, that punch, like, you would feel that, not just a flashing white light. But I'm gonna keep playing it though.
it, I would never know unless that white flash initiated. There may be an
Yeah, that's
audio
hella light.
cue, but I didn't notice it during my gameplay. However, when these counters landed and the white flash came up, it did feel devastating, especially when you knew exactly
It doesn't
who
look it.
landed it.
But, hey, he
Another
played
thing
it.
that just looks magnificent is the check punch. The way you are able to use that and be so diverse and deceptive with that is just something that we have never seen or experienced in a boxing
That punch
video
right
game.
there?
It is not punching, it is not stepping then punching or punching then stepping. It is punching and spinning, stepping, all at the same exact time. And when
Oh.
done, it just looks perfect. The combination strings looked amazing,
that's
especially
actually
when you
cool.
connect them all, as the game
That's
is
hella cool.
fully physics based. And just because you throw punches in range doesn't mean those punches will actually land, which makes it feel even more rewarding when they all do.
Yeah.
You have to put yourself in the best positioning and range to be able to land more.
That does, like, for me, put a necessary skill gap. Like, you gotta actually learn how to play. You can't just be spamming combinations and feeling like the best boxer ever. Like, you actually gotta learn and practice with it. You can't be just throwing shit out there, and you gotta guard yourself. That's why I like Fight Night. That's probably my favorite boxing game ever. Got it perfect. Got it perfect. Especially round 3 in Champion. Got it perfect with the counters and shit, making you feel real and make you feel like, okay, I have to actually know how to fight and do these combinations like an actual boxer. and I think that's separated from a lot of boxing games, and that's why I think it's some stiff competition. They don't have to actually, knock it out the park with this game, but it looked promising. I would spend my money on it so far. It's just like the character models need a little work to me. The punch might feel real because you're holding a controller, but it needs to look more real, like that little flash. It's in alpha too. It's a work in progress, but that's just stuff they could build on from my point of view so far.
accurately. So when you put a combination together, when the
Movement and weave modifier. Okay, now this what I want to see.
like in the game, to me, I don't know what it is, but it definitely doesn't feel good to use. I think the range of motion is too small or the speed is too slow. But I feel vulnerable if I use it for anything else other than the lean back pull counter. But they stated that they are still heavily working on the
Yeah,
mechanic.
yeah, you still need to tweak
Slips
it.
are 100%.
The weave mechanic look nice. Like it looks nice, but like you said, it's just not enough like room for you to weave backwards, and you should be leaning a little bit further backward. It seemed like, and probably like you duck low enough. Like to me, seem duck low enough. It's just yeah, the punch, the like to weave the punch, like how in Fight Night Round 3 they got it to weave it. It should have a mechanic where it slows down or something. I think that'll help it feel real, but maybe they trying to do their own thing. But as of right now, the weaving look, oh, it just need to go back a little further to me, and the punch over the weave should be a lot faster. But the the punching on here, and it doesn't seem too bad to me, but it is kind of slow compared to other boxers, but it's passable.
My favorite go-to for head movement. Without a doubt, they are quick, stylish, and carry much more range than the weave. But they come at a cost to stamina. However, there is nothing more beautiful than slipping multiple shots and coming back with a counter.
Facts.
Over time, I even
That's
learned to use
always
it more
better.
effectively, as clicking the analog in and pressing the direction at the same time didn't always activate it. I was able to experiment and found out that if I clicked the analog in first, held it in, then slipped, I was able to accurately slip 100% of the time and even continue slipping in different directions off of
That's cool.
holding the one click in. Now, with this game, not only is it buggy in pre-alpha, but it is also unbalanced since they are currently more focused on improving gameplay specifically. We saw ratings that were not accurate and just placed on the fighters as they didn't carry any impact on the game just
Oh,
yet. An example was Crawford at 78 overall, but he was a beast when using him regardless. What made the fighters different were their
bro, yeah.
movements and mannerisms.
Hopefully they fix that, which I know they probably will, but that's one thing I cannot stand is unbalancing in any game, but especially boxing. You know, not that I come across that a lot, because really I ain't gonna lie, the only boxer I play is Fight Night, but that shit just seemed like it'd be way more annoying than a boxer. Like UFC, like that game, I can't even master that game. Just stepping off topic for a minute, UFC is hard to play to me. I swear, that shit be hard to play. But as far as self unbalancing, that shit that's gonna get worked out in alpha, so I ain't too much worried about it. Like I say, these character models and like their arms and stuff, it just like feels kind of weird or looks kind of weird. But like I said, it's gonna get cleaned up. So
My favorite ended up being Kell Brook when it was all said and done. He just felt the most comfortable to me. Another thing that is unbalanced at this time is the stamina. We would punch up to 1,500 punches in the fight and still have 85 to 95% stamina after 12 rounds. But in
damn,
other fights, we would do the same thing and end up
boxers
at
wish.
10% stamina. One
What?
cool thing, however, is that lower stamina did not create slower punches. It just made it so that you become vulnerable faster by the depletion of your stamina. And I love that.
Yo, that's interesting. Now that's a different one from Fight Night, cause Fight Night they do that. Your punches get slower. When your stamina low, so it's like when you got low stamina, really ain't no point in throwing them. You gotta wait until it get up to a point So I would like to see that mechanic. That's different. I would like to see how the game go without your punches getting slower. Like I just got lower stamina, and I'm gonna be vulnerable more often. So that's cool. I'd rather actually prefer that if it's done right. So we had to see that when it finally comes out. That's something to look forward to.
The switch stance is amazing. It's a super quick switch and makes it so that right after a punch or right before a punch, you can easily switch super fast. It was so good that I was able to throw
Oh,
a
I
few
like
punches
that.
while in range, switch stance, then throw 2 or 3 more punches and switch back, all while still being able to avoid getting hit. The switching is amazingly fast. The game also has the
That's a
real
plus.
Philly shell blocking, where the glove and arms are pressed up against the body. No trailers that we've seen so far have. Anyone can position themselves correctly, use the appropriate punches, and punch right around your guard.
Oh man. See, they okay. I see what they're going for. They're trying to stray away from Fight Night, but not be too much away. They try to keep the core mechanics, but as far as their blocking and their stance switch is fast. Fight Nights wasn't that slow, if I remember. They stance switch wasn't that slow, but that's hella fast though. Well, you can switch all your stances and shit. And another thing I like is, like I said, the Philly shell thing. They're actually making it like a different type style instead of just being the same way. Like it's not one the same way in Fight Night, but it's just like similar, control similar. But they actually gonna make you get better at blocking, and you got to turn your body. And yeah, so this felt like a real fighting game. So I have to say, there's this game. If it's done right, it could be better than Fight Night. Though.
Using both triggers to move 2 arrows by clicking those triggers and try to keep them in the constantly moving red boxes. The longer you have it in the boxes, the more you fill up the get up meter. Once the get up meter is full, you then can get up, as long as you make it before the 10 count. Here's the fun part. Depending on how badly you were hurt, and depending on your courage stats, even if it's the first time you get dropped or the 7th, those red bars can be smaller and move up and down faster and more erratic, giving us a sense of suspense regardless of when the knockdown takes place. Absolutely genius. There will also be judging variations
That
based off
seems
of.
that seems kind of confusing. That's one thing I hate about. That's what I think I would hate in a boxing game is a confusing ass get up system. Like, what happened to the old tap the buttons till you get up? Like, and they can still have it skill based. Just it depends on your stats, how often you get up, and how much button tapping you got to do before you get up. Like, I wish somebody would do that. This other shit just be complicated for no reason. It seems like.
Currently 40 different true life judges and their tendencies for scoring.
Damn, that's detail.
crazy. Ash, the creative director at Steel City Interactive, also mentioned that a traits system is being implemented. Although we couldn't see it in our build, but for the career mode, for example, if you get KO'd 2 fights in a row, your fighter may become prone to getting KO'd for the rest of his career, upping the stakes to ensure you take every fight
Damn.
seriously to avoid bad carryover.
Yo. I mean, how does that work though? Because just because you got knocked out in 2 straight fights, like, damn, like you got a chance of being prone your whole career. Dudes who they got knocked out in 2 straight fights, and you can come back. Like, damn. Hopefully, it's over a nice length of time, because I seem like that's a little unrealistic, but it is still alpha, so we just have to see. But hopefully, they don't do too much with it, because that just seems like a bit much. Like, just let me have a career, play against people, but I guess they're trying to elevate it a little bit. I can understand that too, trying to change it around.
Traits. All the fighters that will be in the game will also have specific traits based off of their true life fighting style. We gave a lot of suggestions to make the gameplay better than what it already is. Suggestions like we asked them to add better push, where you can just bump them with your shoulder when in close range to create space, slipping and punching at the same time to punish your opponent. As of right now, all you can do is slip, then return to position before you can attack. All in all, the game is not only
Yeah,
fun
yeah,
to
yeah. We need
play,
to slip
but
punch.
also fun to watch,
Slip
as
punches are
matches can
necessary,
diverge
bro.
into brutal Gotti versus Ward-esque epic fights, or poetic fluidity and stylish moving and punching. Even chess match affairs with two fighters trying to outthink each other, or even a brutal boxing lesson from one guy completely outboxing his opponent. None of these have ever been replicated in this way by any other boxing game that I have ever played, and I played a lot of them. After playing this game,
I don't
I
know.
can
Fight
honestly
Night.
say I'm
It's
a little
like
depressed because I don't know when I will get my hands on the game again.
facts.
And after that gameplay, I can never really go back to Fight Night. And that's a shame because all I can think about is playing a game that has no release date. And being quite honest, after seeing all the work that still needs to be done to polish this game,
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
gonna
see
take about a
it
year.
releasing in the summer. Hopefully by the end of the year, but if not, then maybe 2023 summer is a possibility. I know one thing for sure. When this game releases, there will be absolutely nothing else that I will be playing. This event proved to me that we have some creative guys behind this game.
Well, let me just say this though. As far as I haven't seen anything like this in any other game. Well, me, I have in Fight Night. They're building off of Fight Night. Like, let's not act like it wasn't games before this that were boxing games. They're just trying to like the stuff they implementing, the new stuff is cool, but it's like Fight Night Ben did a lot of that, and they're just trying out new shit to add on to the formula. But I feel like Fight Night made those type of things possible. Just they're gonna do it on a bigger scale with an updated system. If Fight Night had released for PS4, I feel like they could do the same thing, and I feel like they would be above the bar, and they would be the standard in boxing games if they didn't stop. So I don't really agree with him on that, but I feel him when he says like if I was to play the game like him, I probably couldn't play Fight Night or either because no, having a nice ass boxing game that's not coming out anytime soon sucks. But at least it's in the air, so that's a good note. But we're gonna stop the video right here. Like I said, his link gonna be in the description to go to his channel and see it. Boxing Fanatico, shout out to you for the vid, bro. And I'm gonna see y'all next time, man. I'm out.